Good afternoon, all. How are we all doing? Afternoon, Danny. Afternoon, Mumo, FTNet, Paul, Michael. It's time. How are you all doing? Happy Friday. Just moving stuff about. We're trading a new strategy today. Yeah, it's a cool new strategy. Good afternoon, David. We need more people like me in the world. Thanks. That's really nice. Yes, we do need more people like me in the world. We also need more people like this guy in the world as well. Not him. He's also quite cool. But him. I've been watching this documentary on YouTube today about this guy, Jeffrey Hinton, who's the godfather of AI. Thank you very much, David. Much appreciated. More packing boxes, more bubble wrap. I've been watching this documentary today. This is the guy that invented AI, basically. And his warnings about it are pretty stark. So, interesting what he's got to say. Lots of people being made redundant, basically, with AI taking all their jobs and stuff. So, so just quick, while I'm looking at this strategy, I just need to find the open. I'm going to do this all manually. That's the 1630 candle. So that's 5, 1, 2, 3. That's the 3rd minute open. We will look at everything in a minute. I'm just going to rush through this because somebody asked about getting a new strategy because apparently the opening range breakout strategy is absolute crap and it doesn't work. So I thought I'd do a new one today. And this is taking the internet by storm. I've seen loads of people backtest this strategy. It's fantastic. They've given it a whole month's worth of backtesting and they've made thousands. So I thought we'll trade it today and see how it goes. I'm not going to trade it with real money, obviously, because it's a load of... But I thought I'd go through a new strategy, because obviously everyone's always looking for new strategies. Sorry, you might be able to detect a little bit of sarcasm in my voice today. So what this strategy is we mark the high and the low of the first 5 minutes, basically the 5-minute opening range. There's the high. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so far, this is the low down there. And what we're going to do is we are going to wait for the 5-minute range to go in. And then we are going to take a breakout of that range, but only if a fair value gap arrives. Okay. So what this strategy basically is we wait for the first 5-minute candle to go in. We wait for it to pull back inside the range. And then we wait for it to break out of the range, but there has to be a fair value gap. So it's got to be candle 7 onwards, really, basically. So the first 7-minute candle that breaks outside the range. So we're going to trade this one and see if we can make loads of money with this one. But going back to real world, so far this morning, rubbish DAX again. DAX and FTSE couldn't make anything this morning. We basically, where's my trades? Oh, there was no trades on the DAX this morning. So no trades on the DAX this morning. Range was too tight. As you can see, 36.20, 54.20 was the minimum. So no trades at all on that one. There's your 5-minute range just gone in. Let me just quickly draw that on the chart. Okay, so there's your 5-minute range low there. So we now wait for a breakout with a fair value gap and we take the trade. We put a 1R risk and a 2R reward. And apparently this thing, it will transform your life. The third person I've seen trade this strategy now. It's the same thing, isn't it? Someone comes up with a variation on a strategy. They stick it on the internet and everybody copies it. Because obviously they're selling affiliate links and this, that, and the other and courses and all this sort of rubbish. So we'll see how we go. So I'll basically build an EA and I'll flog that to you as well. So this is putting back. We'll see where we go. So this morning there was no trade on the DAX. There was your 5-minute ORB, also your 5, your 10, your 15, your 20, 30-minute ORB, all the same range. It was inside bars all the way. It did break out to the upside, came back, didn't get anywhere, and then it broke out to the downside. So if you did take the ORB today, for any reason, it shouldn't have because it's a too tight range, but you would have broken out short and stopped out. So it would have been a double stop out. The third break would have worked nicely. So not great. FTSE was pretty much the same, as you can see. So the 5-minute ORB went in. That was within range, just about, look, 1100 on 1022. Took a short break, stopped out. Took a long break, stopped out. Flipped, flopped, didn't do anything. Came back down, got basically a 1 hour break, came back up again. So we have gone absolutely nowhere today. It is non-farm payroll, FOMC day today. So got to be a little bit careful today because you might find that we are just going to go up and down all day. Right. So looking at news today, we've had the GDP this morning. Hi, Jeffrey. We've had GDP. God, I'm not with it at all today. CPI this morning for the pound. That came out as a positive. Not an awful. I don't want to ruin my charting. I'm just going to quickly go over to the pound. As you can see, we didn't get a lot of reaction on that. So that's where the news came out and we haven't gone anywhere. So absolutely no reaction to that number this morning. Get back to the NASDAQ. So really, really quiet morning basically so far. We have got some ADRs, which we'll go through in a second. We've got Macron speaking at 4:15 later on. And obviously this evening is interest rates for the Fed. So I'm not expecting anything to be different on that. There's no way that Powell is going to come out with a surprise. They never do, FOMC. I don't think anything's going to come out in the press conference that we don't already know. Powell's already said everything. He's fallen out with Trump. Trump basically wants him to drop that down to 3.5 immediately. He's not going to do it. So everything that comes out in the press conference is going to be anti-Trump as usual from Powell. It's basically the trade tariffs have made it incredibly hard for us to work this, forecast this, do anything. So we're going to be data-driven. We don't know where we're going. So that's the upshot. September is the first rate drop planned. However, with CPI going the wrong way and unemployment not really going particularly well, may not even happen. You can see the retail sales dropped as well. Again, another reason not to drop interest rates. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not expecting any big moves. We'll probably get a big whipsaw potentially, but I'm not expecting massive moves off of that at the moment. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Israel and Iran at the moment. So there we go. There's your 5-minute range. So we'll see if we can get a breakout of that range. We'll come back to that in a minute. NASDAQ, no trade so far. No range on the S&P, too tight. No range on the Dow, too tight. But I will be taking a 10-minute ORB on the Dow by the looks of things. Right. Yeah, so Dow is going to be a 10-minute ORB today. The 5-minute will be the same as the 10-minute on the NASDAQ. S&P, no trade so far. So other trades we've got today, that's not going to break out. This is going to be one of those days, isn't it? We try and trade a new strategy. It won't give us a signal. So other than that today, obviously, if you look at the actual news for the day, OpenAI starts selling ChatGPT at a discount. As you can see this morning, there's not been a massive amount of news. We've had the jobless claims came out, which basically were on forecast exactly. Other than that, there's very little come out of the Iran-Israel thing this morning. So Supreme Leader, they should know that Iran will not surrender to any US strike, will have serious, irreparable consequences. Not quite sure how they're going to seriously and irreparably attack the US, considering they've got no planes, air superiority, and bunker buster bombs are on their way. But Iran is threatening back, obviously. So there's no escalation so far today from the US. However, pretty likely it's going to happen, isn't it? So obviously, as you can see, my oil trade is doing incredibly well. I'm adding to that today. I'll just go over to oil while this thing's not breaking out. And I'll show you where I am. So, I have just triggered my next buy. There we go. Literally just triggered it. So these are the positions I've got on oil. I bought it on Thursday. Sorry, it's Wednesday today. I bought it on Monday. And then as soon as I bought it, basically off the accumulation there, I was expecting a sort of push up. Basically, we pulled back, so I added to it on the pullback, and then obviously we've pushed up again. So I've added to it again this morning. That's one more position going on. I'm looking for a break of the weekly high, which is up there. Yeah, and then obviously off we go. So as long as this war is going to continue, as long as it escalates, oil price is going through the roof. If Iran turn around and turn off pipelines, we're going through the roof faster. If they hit pipelines by accident, we're going through the roof faster. There's nothing that doesn't make oil go up apart from the US backing down, Israel stopping fighting, and Iran going, here you go, have all the nukes. Not going to happen. So oil price up. NASDAQ, no trade so far. So ADRs today. We've got two. These happened early in the morning. We covered these in the members stream this morning. Euro Swiss was an ADR. It tapped up into ADR and immediately came back off of it. You've had a half an ADR pullback, but very difficult to get into this morning. You wouldn't really have got an entry on it. You haven't had an entry on it, actually. So there's your ADR hit. There's the reversal alert. That was a 25-minute constant buy. So there was no real trigger to get into that one. Pound Swiss, very much the same. So this was basically, oh, yes, you did get one actually on the Pound Swiss a bit later on. So there's your ADR hit and reversal. 50% roughly came back on that. Not quite 50, about 30, 40. So yeah, nice little pullback off of that. This was basically an undoing of the Swiss franc safe haven run from yesterday. So obviously we had that second leg safe haven run come in. We tapped into that weekly low and bounced off, but I would definitely be looking to sell everything against the Swiss at the moment, because if it kicks off, we are just going to get continued strength in that Swiss franc. Let me just pop back to the NASDAQ quickly. Typical, isn't it? I want to trade a new strategy. First day doesn't give me a signal. Afternoon, Sebastian. Afternoon, Virginia. Drinking my coffee, excuse me. I'm not going to go through every pair in detail today. As you can see from the RSI dashboard, nothing is extended. We had a few extensions this morning, but they've all basically sort of come out of extension now. So I'll quickly whiz through the pairs. Aussie, New Zealand's middling. I'm looking at the 4-hour charts at the moment. Nothing's extended at the minute. The Swiss yen, obviously, I'm in Swiss yen already as a short. That's now in profit. Looking for a pullback into here. That's a lot of yen strength coming through. We've got a safe haven run going on in the yen at the minute. Well, we've got strength in the yen, whether it's not actually that strong. So this is a combination of them pulling out the Swiss at the same time. That's back in profit now, isn't it? I'm just going to scale out of this because I've got two safe havens at the minute. And when I took this trade, we weren't going to war with Iran. So I'm just going to close that out, and I'm going to close a quarter of that out just to bank a little bit more today. I'm up 460 on the day. That obviously increases my average. So that little D button gives me drawdown control options. So anything in black there increases the average price of that pair. So obviously I only want to close out portions of things that are going to improve my position. Yeah, DD control on the deepest position and closed a portion of that out. So it leaves me a little bit in drawdown on it, but I just want to get out of a portion because obviously with safe havens, you never know which of these two is going to be the stronger. If it's going to be the Swiss franc, I would expect us to kind of sit around up here for a bit rather than just collapse. So I'm just being a bit cautious with that one just because it's two safe haven currencies next to each other. Euro CAD on the 4-hour. I've got shorts on at the moment. That's not extended. The extension was back there. Euro Swiss sideways. Euro pound. That's extended to the upside. I was looking for an entry on that. This is where I'm interested in entering. I didn't want to take something here. You could do, there's a good chance it will pull back from here. We've got a lovely divergence going in. Yeah, bearish divergence. You've got a lovely propulsion target there and a second one there, which gives you about 150 ADR. That obviously gives you about 3 ADR to the downside. So obviously if this is going to come back down, there's a lot to drop on this, but I would rather take this from a level that makes logical sense for a bounce point. There's nothing here that I'm interested in from a support resistance perspective. That's clear air. And we've broken out of that monthly high. So we tested the monthly high and we've just broken out and retested it. It looks to me like it's going to run. So I want to get in somewhere up there after it's done a very nice, big, strong push and then look for a target back down there. You could scale into it now. It is extended. It has got divergence. So look for getting roughly an ADR or so out of it. But I just don't like the way we broke that monthly high and then we retested it and it's bounced. So it looks to me like we're potentially holding. We got hit again there. We broke through it, tested it. It looks like that resistance there has broken and it's turning into support. But it may just turn into an M pattern reversal and come back down, in which case then you can target these areas down here. Pound US dollar. Just quickly see what the indices are doing. Okay, so we're inside bars on the Dow. So we're all set up ready for a break. NASDAQ, break. Hang on, let me get back to my NASDAQ. Pound US dollar, it is extended to the downside. I got out of a portion of this morning. Yeah, so I took a profit on it this morning. I'll obviously add back on if we push back up, but hopefully we're just going to start that drop now. US dollar strength coming in. First time in a while. So I'm looking for a break of here. Yeah, so I've taken a partial here because obviously we've broken out, tested it, come back, testing it again. This is the previous resistance. Resistance turns into support. So if this is now going to hold up here or it's going to bounce on weak dollar, I want out of portion of this position. So I've done 2 drawdown controls and taken 2 profits. And obviously if it breaks down, happy days, I'm going to get out down here. If it doesn't, I'll add again back up at the highs. Right, let's quickly look at this NASDAQ. Okay, so the strategy is we need to open below, close above. Yeah, so we need a nice strong bullish break outside of this 5-minute high, which we have not got. No signal. Yeah. Basically, when that candle closes above that high, we then wait for the next candle to close. And if that candle forms a propulsion gap, or fair value gap, as obviously the world calls it because they've been brainwashed by ICT. But if it creates a fair value gap, we literally hit the buy button and we place a stop loss under the low of the candle that caused the propulsion gap. And then we get a 2 to 1. Literally works every time, apparently. That's what they say on YouTube. So I thought we'd test it this morning. Obviously, I'm expecting this to make me millions because it's on YouTube. So it must be true. There we go. So what we're looking for is obviously a propulsion gap to form. So when this candle closes bullish, that is our breakout of the 5-minute range. The next candle has to form a propulsion gap. So this candle low here, that candle high there is going to form a propulsion gap. If that happens, we press buy. We make 11 grand a month, apparently. What it says on the channel. If it doesn't form a propulsion gap, we don't do anything. However, what we do, if it doesn't form a propulsion gap, it means that there has been a false breakout. So we wait for it to pull back, and then we wait for another push, and then we take that propulsion gap. That's how it works. Sarcastic mode turned down. If you would already be in EG, would you increase ADR for the next entry? We'll have a look at that in a sec. I'm just going to wait for this candle to close. Got 14 seconds. So this is the propulsion gap entry. We've got one. We've got an entry here. There we go. There's your trade. Now, that is where I think the stop should go. obviously with all these strategies, they give you multiple options so that if the one that they say that you do doesn't work, they say, well, in that case, you should have done this. Yeah. So there's two options for stop losses on this. You can either put it at the low of that candle, going to get stopped out. The low of the propulsion gap, going to get stopped out. Or the low of the candle before, probably safer. Yeah. But having seen the speed and size of that, I'd say pretty much every single one of those is going to get stopped out. But, we'll go with it. So that's where I'm going to put the stop loss. So reward is 2R. 1, 2. So that is our target. Let's see how we get on. So if it goes below that there, we've stopped out. I hope it does, because obviously I'm on an ORB on the NASDAQ with my strategy, and I'm on the ORB with the DOW as well. So sorry, lattes. Impossible to drink. We'll come back to that in a minute. Euro pound. So if I was in Euro pound, would you increase the ADR for the next entry? No. So if you're in this now on that extension, you're in it. So scale in as normal. So 3/4 of an ADR, half an ADR, 1 ADR, whatever you want. But ADR is ADR. So ADR on this is 38.9. Half an ADR is 20 roughly. So it's 2040 ADR. So half an 3/4 of an ADR is about 30. So you're looking at there. So by the time you reach here, which is the next resistance, you'll probably be in 3 positions, 3 trades within the position, and it will have been moving all that distance with no pullback. You could argue that it's moved all of that distance without a pullback. It did do a 38 retracement flag break there, but that would be kind of target to the downside. So up to you. But your spacing is your spacing. You decide what your spacing is. I would go with 3/4 of an ADR as a standard because it's safe. It's not too aggressive. It's not too far apart that you're not going to get trades on. It's a nice kind of middle ground. So that's where I would go with. We're on our way to target, everybody. I think we may have just found the new Holy Grail. Although it is tapping into that monthly support for the 3rd time today. Wow. Okay, targets on Dow. So yesterday's high technically is the open. I would class that kind of as yesterday's high, really. It's just shy of it. But so there's the partial on yesterday's high resistance. You've got previous day's high there, which is also high of the week. So there's plenty of upside on the Dow. Obviously, we're in a bit of a fear mode at the moment with what's going on with Iran and Israel. So obviously, as you can see, markets are dropping. NASDAQ upside. Massive rejection on the NASDAQ. NASDAQ upside, obviously, that's your yesterday's high and the previous day's high. That propulsion gap there is a really good upside resistance. We've also got the move down yesterday, potentially as well. So if it can get up there, that seems like a pretty good target to the upside. Big rejection, though, there on the NAS. So going to be taking a 6-bar range break on the S&P today. Getting close to stop out territory here. Brave new war trading world. Yeah. Did well with GDP, US dollar closed on wake up. Oh, did well with pound US dollar closed on wake up. Yeah. What's the crowns? What crowns? What? Franco, are you on your drugs again? What crowns? On names? Oh, on the chat. Right, so that's top fans. So basically, we've got fans now. So you're number two. You're number two. Keep talking, Michael. You might, no, sorry, Franco. You might get number one. So yeah, basically, if you participate, you get a crown. I don't know where it came from. It happened a few weeks ago, and suddenly this happened. I have no idea. I didn't turn anything on. It just came out of nowhere. So I'm assuming it's something new they've started in YouTube, or it's something that auto turned on in YouTube that I didn't know about. So anyway, for me, US dollar CAD did well. Yep. So US dollar CAD, if you bought the RSI extension down there, ADR is 67. So you'd be in probably just two. So in, out. Okay, we're still in the trade. We're still in it. Obviously, if you use that low or that low, which were the other alternative lows, you'd been stopped out by now on that. But I'm going with the low of the candle prior to propulsion. That is what I would always select. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. If this turns out to be a good strategy, I might model this. The trouble is, whenever you model any strategy on the 1 minute time frame, it takes forever to backtest. So you'd have to build an EA, ideally that works only on open prices, because if you're testing on tick level data on 1 minute charts, you will be there for years, testing years of data. It's awful. So this is why I don't develop on 1 minute charts. It just takes forever. If this strategy works well all the time, why do you need a stop loss? Exactly, Vitaly. Because you've got to keep risk low. I know it doesn't work. And the reason I know it doesn't work is because it uses a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio. And it has not got a 66% strike rate. I know that because I've done the research. I've been trading the opening range for years. I've done plenty of ORB research. And you're not getting a 66% strike rate, which is what you would need to achieve for a 2R to work, really, on a, actually, no, sorry, a 33% strike rate. Other way around. You're not getting a 33% strike rate on the 1 minute chart on an ORB. Not going to happen. It's a breakout strategy. You're not going to get a decent breakout, decent risk reward. Strike rate. What is it today? Something's wrong. I think it's the heat. It's absolutely baking in my office. I've got a small office with black walls, a computer, 3 massive monitors, and lighting. It's 30 degrees out there. No air conditioning. Michael will keep talking as well. There we go. Michael and Franco are in a competition for the #1 crown. I'm willing this to lose. I don't want it to. What I want to happen right now is it to come down, stop that out, prove me right that this strategy is a load of rubbish, and then fly off because I'm actually long on it. Oh, there we go. Look, it heard. So come down, fill that propulsion gap, buy a step in, drive it up through that high, off we go. That's what I want to happen. Because then it proves that strategy wrong and I don't have to ever do it again. And then my strategy works. It's not going to do it, is it? It's actually going to survive and it's going to make money, which is going to be very annoying. There we go. Stopped out. Oh, definitely stopped out. Stopped out. There we go. So it doesn't work, unfortunately. Gutted. Well, there we go. Whatever your name is, Casper SMC, with your 37,000 views from 1 day ago and your 421 fake comments put in by bots. Unfortunately, your strategy that made you 11 grand does not work. But he made 41 grand on the Thursday, the 1st of May. He made 7 grand on Thursday, the 5th of June. He made 11 grand on Monday, the 19th of May, and he won 5 grand on Wednesday, May the 21st. Can you see what's going on here? 4 days in the last month, he made loads of money. What happened to the other 16 days of trading? Mr. Casper SMC. Inquiring minds want to know. Why don't you just show us a very small portion of days that actually worked? Forget about the losses, but apparently, anyway, that was that strategy. So there you go, stopped out. That was specifically for someone in Discord that said opening range breakouts don't work. I'm just trying to prove the point that nothing works if the market doesn't make it work. Right. Looking at the other FX pairs. Aussie dollar CAD. Sideways at the moment. Again, no signals, nothing going on it. You had a 4-hour off the monthly lows there, which bounced very nicely, and the retest on that as well. But I mean, it is just kind of sideways at the minute. Aussie dollar Swiss, no signals. Aussie dollar yen, marginally, but it was a double top weekly, so it would have been a good one if you took it. Nothing there. CAD yen sideways. That one actually has worked out. So that was your entry there, which was on Monday / Tuesday morning. So that's come down nicely. But you would have been in it from there as well. And if you took that one there, you probably would have got out there anyway. So you're done on that CAD yen. Euro odd sideways, nothing going on. Just reversal alert short on that. So that's looking okay for a short. Euro pound's looking good. Sorry, euro yen. So we've just broken out of this monthly and filled that propulsion gap now. It's taken quite a lot of effort to get that done. So I get the feeling that this is ready for a little bit of a pullback. If we get that war kicking off even more, then that yen is going to benefit. So that's a really good entry. You can see you just had the 4-hour reversal alert on that. It did kind of come back and retest as well. Not nicely. It kind of went sideways after the break, but that's coming down nicely. Euro New Zealand sideways, nothing much going on. Reversal alert and retest out of propulsion on that one as well. Looks like we've got either a weak euro or a strong New Zealand dollar at the minute. Strong New Zealand dollar. There you go. Aussie dollar CAD ADR. So Aussie and New Zealand are on the rally, commodity pairs. Nothing going on there. Stuck in the middle. Pound odd. That's extended to the downside. So this was a really good signal today for a double bottom. It's failed. Australian dollar rallying. So watch this propulsion gap and the monthly low for an entry. You could probably get 2 entries in there. One there, one there. And then you'll be basically taking a pullback on this leg. Very nice, big, strong leg down to bounce back on. So you're looking for pretty much exactly that. Yeah. Pound CAD, that's a nice entry long as well. You got monthly support coming up with the propulsion gap that broke out from there. So you got 225 ADR, and today it would be 125 ADR. If it gets down there, that would be a nice entry to come back up and retest those highs. I'd be very careful trading against the CAD at the moment with the oil price going through the roof. That's the likely trajectory. Canadian dollar is likely to rally. Pound Swiss, nice divergence on that as well. Look, bullish divergence. So look for a push up into there. Maybe you've had a 1-hour reversal alert on that. Oh no, that was days ago. It is an exact double bottom. So it's just gone sideways. Can't really do much with that. Pound yen, again, short. We've got an ascending wedge pattern forming here, which is obviously a bullish break. However, war, that. We've had some positive news on the pound today as well. So it might hold the pounds quite steady. So it might be a tricky one to drop on that one. Double bottom going in at the moment on the pound New Zealand. However, that Aussie and New Zealand are rallying at the minute. So I'll be interested in buying these lows down here. Back up into that propulsion there. That is extended on the 4-hour as well. So that's a good entry. New Zealand CAD entry yesterday on that one down at the lows. I said we looked at this one in the live room on Monday. on the hourly. And I said that looks like a lovely triple bottom bounce. However, that's as high as you're going to get. So you're literally going to get 150 ADR out of it if you're lucky, and that could take days. Look how long this takes to go anywhere. It's awful. So we are just stuck. So yeah, that was your buy from Monday. Get out at the highs. Other than that, I'm not really interested in taking stuff going that sideways. New Zealand dollar Swiss sideways. New Zealand dollar yen. That's a nice extension to the upside. Just had a reversal alert, triple top. It is kind of pushing up as well. All these yen pairs look the same. They all look like they're about to break long. We need one safe haven run, and that will be completely disproved. If you look at the yen, obviously, since the intervention, the market really is not interested in safe haven, in using this as an investment vehicle anymore, the yen. So they are not selling off the yen constantly. Now, the yen, obviously, the interest rates have gone up. We're above negative interest rates now for Japan. So this is likely, I think, now to act more like a normal currency. However, it's just so expensive to trade. So position trading wise on the yen, you're still looking somewhere between $15 to $40 holds on it. So it's not really something I'm interested in position trading. I'm trading the Swiss yen because it's the cheapest of the lot, but it does move the least of the lot as well. So the yen pairs are still a bit tricky, but they're moving very, very nicely now. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, stuck in the middle. Again, just sideways on that. US dollar CAD, we had a lovely uptick on that. So finally, a little bit of strength coming through on that dollar. It needs to hold today, really, to prove that it's actually going to reverse. Other than that, everyone will be selling this down channel. So this kicked off, obviously, on what was going on with the Iran situation. If they do get involved, potentially we may see some strength starting to come through in that dollar, because we'll see the stock market drop. That will rally the dollar. So as we see the money coming out of stocks, it will go into currency. So that will rally the dollar. So in theory, if it does kick off and if we do get a drop in the stock market, this is looking good now. So my pound US dollar, obviously, that's why I took off a portion of that yesterday. Yeah, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. If the market gives you 150 ADR and gives you an opportunity to get out, take it. So all these I see potentially continuing that leg, but we'll have to wait and see. This could just be a pullback continuation, weaknesses with the dollar. So US dollar CAD, first rally yesterday. We had a lovely rally yesterday. We had a lovely bounce yesterday with the Swiss franc. So obviously this is the second safe haven run. This is the 4-hour chart. Last week was the Swiss and the US dollar weakness, but we had that nice bounce yesterday. So it might be a case of this is starting just to flag and then break back down again. So you just got to be a bit careful with these US dollars. Looks like we're getting some strength, but it's not guaranteed by any shape or form. And US dollar yen, obviously, we are just completely sideways on this as well still. So lovely spot to be selling at. Reversal alerts just gone in at the highs. Hourly this morning. So yeah, looks good for shorts. But dollar. Still can't see any massive reason for buying the dollar at the minute. Yeah, we've just had negative news again on the dollar. So retail sales were down. If you look at last week's news on the dollar, CPI down, PPI down, Michigan up. But all the main numbers, CPI, inflation, everything to do with currency strength, down. Yeah, same this week. Retail, down. Fed are going to come out this evening and they're not going to say anything positive, are they? Everything's down. All the numbers are crap. We're going to put the interest rates up? No, they're not going to say that. They're going to say it's more likely going to come down, but not at the moment because we can't, because everything's going the wrong direction. So CPI coming down is obviously a good thing for dropping currency. So that is good because it indicates that they can drop the rates, but they can't do it yet. That's still too high. So I think September is a good target for dropping interest rates, which means until then, the dollar's not necessarily going to be strong, is it? So we will see. NASDAQ holding at the moment. Long break on the S&P. I'm just going to move my target on the S&P down because obviously if this goes, the NASDAQ will go. So I'm just going to take a partial on that one a little bit sooner than I am on the NASDAQ. If it goes, obviously, at the minute it's struggling. Don't forget it's FOMC day, so very typical for the market to go sideways and wait for that Fed rate to come out. I think the market knows what's going to happen with the Fed rate, so it might be that we do actually have a bit of confidence to do some purchases today, but typically the market wants to wait for confirmation of what the dollar is going to do before it starts to buy stocks, because if obviously anything comes out negative this evening and the dollar drops, you can buy all your stock at a cheaper price. Doesn't make sense to buy it here at the opening bell when you can get it 6 hours later at a much discounted rate. So we tend to get rotation on FOMC days, but looks sort of far half strong at the moment, doesn't it? So if I can get myself back to a nice break-even position, I might take some partials off. Trump is on Bloomberg, egging on the Fed to drop rates again. Oh, here we go. I can't say whether the US will strike Iran. Right, guaranteed that's going to happen. Every time he says, I'm not going to comment on it, it happens. Yeah. So remember before Israel shot all the missiles over, he said exactly the same thing. There could be something coming, something imminent could be coming. I'm not going to say it's going to come, but it could be coming. It could be tremendous. It could not. I don't know. But I'm not going to tell you about it. And then remember the month before that, now's a good time to buy stocks. 9.5% up on the S&P. If Iran wants to negotiate, why didn't they before? I can't say whether we're going to strike Iran. Guaranteed within 24 hours, they're striking Iran. So oil, buy it. Not financial advice, but that's what I'm doing. Iran has reached out. I said, it's very late. I've got to go to bed and have my cocoa in a minute, but nothing is too late. They said they might come to the White House. What, the whole of Iran? You're going to need a lot of planes, mate. They might come to the White House. Oil. Oh, God. What's he just done to my oil trade? Look at my oil trade. That was 700 a minute ago. Thanks, Trump. I suggested they come to the White House. All of them. Iran has reached out. Said it's very little about same thing. Next week is going to be very big. Maybe less than a week. Big what? Party with the Iranians at the White House? Yeah, anyway. Yeah, so he hasn't said anything about Powell yet, has he? My patience has already run out. Iran has got a lot of trouble. Yeah. Here we go. I will wait until Powell gets out, then go long term. What does that mean? We should be 2 points lower. By that, he means 0.5%, not 2%. 2 point, I think. It would be nice to be 2.5 points lower. Does he mean 2.5%? He means 2%. Yes, of course it would be nice to be at 2%. That'd be lovely. Anyway, Trump asked about Iran's leader. Good luck. They're going to take him out, aren't they? They know where he is. They're going to take him out. It's all going to kick off. Oil is pulling back. All I will say. Pulling back, not dropping. What do you think of TJR? He's recently blown up. Never heard of him. I don't follow people on YouTube. I don't know. People blow up all the time. I can blow up on YouTube. If I stick 10 grand into marketing and come up with a load of new strategies that are complete rehashes of other strategies out there, rename them, rehash them, put a slight twist on them, I can become popular on YouTube as well. It's not going to make you any money. It's going to make me a shed load of money. But it's not going to make you any money because I'm selling you the same thing. It's either a mean reversion strategy, a breakout strategy, or a trend strategy. That's all there is. We've looked at another variation of the opening range breakout strategy today that just failed and made a loss. Mine is working fine. Thank you very much. Yep. Other days, mine will make a loss, and that will also make a loss. Other days, mine might make a loss, and it will make a profit. At the end of the day, it's a breakout strategy. What my name is has got nothing to do with price and how it works and what risk reward is. It's all the same stuff. Everybody blows up on YouTube at some point. If I sat there and watched everybody that blew up on YouTube, I'd never get any trading done. One strategy I've been doing with low risk and a stop loss is looking for false ORB breakouts. So I wait for the break, look on the 1 minute, and wait for the market reversal alert to take it going back into the range. Yeah. So that today on the NAS is probably a great example of that. I haven't got the MRA indicator. Yes, I have. Of course I have. On here. You didn't get one today. So that would have been a reversal alert there. But yeah, I mean, basically a false breakout. 80% of breakouts fail. So on most instruments, on stock indices, it's less. But the majority of breakouts fail. But it depends where you put a breakout, what time frame you're doing your breakout on, what range you're doing your breakout on, what the look back of your breakout is. There's a million variables in a breakout, isn't there? So look, this one, for example, right now, well, obviously we're flying on the break, which is lovely. But when that reversal alert happens, that's a great short, because if it is going to go into rotation today, you ought to be looking for that pullback into the range and get out somewhere in the range, because it's either going to do that or it's going to do that. Or if it's going to go into full rotation, it's going to do that. Either way, getting out in here in the initial 5 minute ORB or at the break of the ORB is a good target, but you need it to have got a distance out. But, you know, this isn't, you know, I could blow up with this strategy, couldn't I? I could trade this 5 days, and if it works 5 out of 5 days, I'll be a sensation. Everybody will be talking about me. I'll be posting YouTube videos all over the place. I'll be doing all sorts of stuff. Then it will go into a losing run like that, and everyone will leave my channel and go on to the next guy who's blowing up because he's having a good run. I've been doing this for 5 years live on YouTube. I'm still here. Say something, isn't it? I'm tempted to take a partial on one of these. I've got a feeling this is rallying on Trump. And I've got a feeling Trump is going to say something in a minute, which is going to completely destroy the stock market about invading Iran or something. Fear and greed, we're back down into neutral territory now. Yeah, so we are watching a bull run in a declining fear and greed market, which is bearish. Yeah, so this move that we're seeing here is against the grain of what sentiment is at the moment. So be careful with these. I'm not convinced that this is going to last today. Although I'm struggling to find any upside resistance as well. So I'm just going to pull back inside that propulsion gap. So if we can get up into here, I'm going to take a partial on the Dow. I'm going to do the same on the NAS. I'm just not confident about this move. It's too quick. And I'll leave the S&P running. Just I got profit on the table. I'm trying to gather back a little bit of loss from this morning. Yeah, so any strategy that you trade basically will work. What was that? Franco, $5. Thank you very much, Franco. Much appreciated. You have helped me greatly during this world madness. Cheers. $5 unfortunately doesn't buy me a whole pint, but I can get a half. we were talking about this the other day in the spin room, how one of my friends went out at the weekend and he went to a Soul to Soul concert in Brighton. And it was £27 for a bottle of wine. £27. $40 for a small bottle of wine. Yeah. A can of cider, small can, £6. So, yeah. But thank you very much. Very much appreciated, Franco. Cost of everything. And obviously the problem we've got at the moment now with oil prices going through the roof, inflation, going back up again. Just watching this struggle here. I'm going to take a partial on the Dow. I'm just moving my partial line down so it just takes a partial regardless of where this gets to, because they're all stalling out. We're up at Globex highs now on the NASDAQ. So this is your Globex high. You can see the market at Globex is struggling. So this was the high of the day in pre-market trading. Likely pullback area or reversal area. So just being cautious. In fact, I might take a partial on the NAS as well. This is only a 1-to-1. I just don't trust this today. So I'm just going to take a partial. So risk is 600. Partial 570, so it's just about a 1R. So closing part of both of those and let the rest run. I'll let the S&P go and see if we can get one on the S&P. Doing this strategy since there's been a chop at the open. Stop loss set either the top or the bottom of the market reversal with or above closed propulsion gap. Yeah. So if you obviously with every strategy that you trade, when you're trading anything, it's either going to work or it's not, depending on what the market does next. So if you are trading a mean reversion strategy on a breakout at the open and it goes into a trend for the day, you're going to stop out. If the breakout fails and we go into a pullback continuation, you will make a profit. If the breakout fails and we mean revert all the way back, you will make a profit if you are a mean reversion trader. The market spends 80% of its time in mean reversion. This is why we are mean reversion traders most of the time. So that is a good strategy to trade. On a trend day, as long as you understand that you have to stop if it doesn't work, because if you try and mean revert a trend all day, you will hemorrhage every single penny you've got. The beauty of breakout strategies is we can get 5R, 6R, 7R runs. In mean reversion strategies, you're only ever going for 1.5 or 2R. Most of the time. So if you get those working 3 or 4 times and then you fail 3 or 4 times on the trot, you will find that it eats your profit very, very quick, obviously. So, but yeah, absolutely. Especially on a move like that, waiting for a reversal, that's extended, isn't it? Yeah. So as long as you're waiting for some kind of strength in the opposite direction and not just jumping in, yeah, looking like it wants to pull back, isn't it? So for the last 5 minutes, stalling. My oil trade is going down the pan. Come on, Trump. Send those bombers in. Only for my oil trade. Don't hit anybody, obviously. Just send the bombers in, drop the bombs, but don't hit anybody. Hit the buildings, but don't hit the people. Send oil through the roof and then come home. If that's what if you could possibly manage that, that'd be lovely. Oil Brent. Yeah, that'll be putting back. New Zealand dollar CAD from the extension is running nicely. Yeah, so that was that double bottom, or triple bottom, really. We looked at on Monday. So yeah, you got New Zealand dollar and the Aussie dollar rallying at the moment, all the Australasian markets rallying. So not more than another 3/4 of an ADR on that today. Max. I mean, you're highly unlikely to do 175 ADR, But if it does, I would be jumping ship on that. Likelihood is, if oil price rallies, that's coming straight back down again. Your horns are back. They are. Yes. Put my horns back on. I don't know why. Barbecue pork missiles followed by pawn drop leaflets. I've no idea what you're talking about, Franco, but that sounds good to me. Barbecue pork missiles followed by pawn drop leaflets. Is that what they should do over Iran? Yeah, rather than drop the bunker buster bomb, what we should be doing is dropping pork missiles. That's what they need in the other place, Gaza. God, so many conflicts going on. Oh, you know, which war are you talking about? We've got 3 going on at the moment. Nuts, isn't it? 3 wars at the same time. And one country in the middle of 2 of them. Hey, okay, it's a gift then. Thank you very much. I have found many strategies work. Most just don't. Most just don't wait for the setup. They rush to play. Yeah. Strategies rarely fail. If there's a strategy that has been back tested and works, we made an EA in the member stream this morning. I went through for 2 hours, I think it was. We went through in detail, in fairly decent detail, how to code your own EA using AI. Yeah. 2 hours this morning, we went through that. Yeah. So we built an EA with 2 different models. I showed a crap way to prompt an EA, an AI, and I showed a good way to prompt an AI. We built a strategy out of complete thin air, basically, or rather it built it for us, for MT4 using just RSI and EMA signal. So we had to condition the signal, target, stop loss, etc., etc. Back tested it, only over 6 months or something, but it didn't lose money. Yeah. That I created on the fly, out of the middle of nowhere, no back testing, no robustness testing. I got AI to create the strategy for me, and it didn't lose money. So it's people that lose money. Strategies very rarely lose money. If you find a strategy and you back test it, and it has an edge, you robustness test it, and it has multiple edges that work with different settings, it's robust. It's likely to work in the future. If you play the strategy out, it'll make money. If you alter the strategy in any way, shape, or form, it's not going to do what it did in the back tests. Yeah. Also, what it's done in the back tests is the past. It's not the future. So if you had a losing run of 10 or 15 trades in the past, you could get a losing run of 25 trades in the future. You might only get a losing run of 5 trades, but it's certainly not going to be what it was before. So this is why we system hop. And this is why I did this session this morning, building EAs with AI to quickly test strategy ideas you find online. That trade I took this morning, that took just now, was a YouTube video. I can build an EA to model that within 10 minutes. And I can quickly whiz it in the back tester, run it for a couple of months as a back test and go, yep, load of crap, move on. I don't waste any time trading it because I can test it, I can model it. But if it comes out with an edge, and, you know, and the P&L does that, I'm going to spend a bit of time on it. So it's really useful, AI, for proving edges and then trading it. But like you say, if you get a strategy and then you trade the strategy one day and it fails, and then you go, screw it, I'll just take another one because it looks like it would have worked if it had done that. You've completely changed that strategy. It's not going to work in this way that it did in the back tests. And this is why everybody system hops, because they continuously hop from strategy to strategy, change the strategy and expect it to do what it did in the back test. And then they get cross because it's not working the way it did before. Can't do anything about that. It's the trader, not the strategy. Okay, so partial taken at propulsion test on the DOW, partial taken at Globex high on the NAS. S&P, I'm going to let that run. So break even on the day so far, up going to be up on the trailers. So that is locked in at break even. That is locked in with a profit already. Going like crazy today, isn't it? Look, that oil trade is going to potentially get back to zero today. I know it's pushing up again. So oil's pulling back. You watch. This is absolutely typical Trump play, isn't it? I'm going to come out and say something, guys, right? And I'm going to say something that's going to reverse the oil price. Okay, I'm going to give everybody hope. Yeah. So when you see that dip today and it goes below the low of the day, buy it all up, right? And then I'll come out half an hour later and I'll say B-52s are en route. Everybody get out of Iran. Yeah. This is what he does. He's an absolute manipulator of the market. All of his mates know exactly what move is coming next because he is what's driving the market now. Nothing to do with fundamentals, nothing to do with technicals. It's the Trump effect. Was last time he was in? Is this time round? It's fun, isn't it? CAD yen extended on your end? It should be. If it's extended on your end, it will be. Same as mine. Hourly's not. 4 hourly's not either. No, it's not extended. It was yesterday. In fact, not yesterday. Monday stroke Tuesday, yeah. Yeah, yesterday. So there was your reversal alert yesterday. And it kind of did nothing, did it, until end of day. So there was no RSI extension on the hourly. For me, anyway, using the 21 median. But if you're using a 21 close, that probably did extend. No, it didn't. So it's the other way around, isn't it? The median's more sensitive, which is why I use it. So yeah, no extension for me anyway. It's kind of, but this is the thing, all yens at the moment are bullish like this because we've had a weak run on the yen, but it's all part of a larger bull move. So that's not a bad place to be shorting it at all at the minute. If you look at it, it's probably not extended on the daily either. It's just about. So you've got divergence on the daily. Odd CAD 125 ADR. Australian dollar's really rallying. Canadian dollar will be dropping on oil. So ever such slight bearish divergence from yesterday. Obviously gap down there as well. Look. But, you know, we are in a bull run at the moment on it. I can't see the yen continuing to weaken. It's coming down nicely now, the CAD yen, look. But this is the CAD. The CAD will be dropping off the back of oil. So if you look at all of the CAD pairs, they'll all be rallying because oil's dropping. 125 there. So if oil is going to go back up, this is a beautiful mean reversion opportunity. Again, we don't know what Trump's going to do yet, do we? S&P, absolutely parabolic, this move. Look at it. Not stopping, is it? Just waiting for him to say something. Asked if he gave Iran an ultimatum. You could say so. Crude oil inventories. An Iranian delegation for negotiation may have just landed in Oman. We are taking care of the debt ceiling issue. Yeah. How? Ask Powell if you're taking care of the debt ceiling issue. I think he might have a different opinion on that one. Asked if he told Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu that the US would help more. No. I told Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu to keep going. Okay, so that would indicate then that potentially they are not going to attack. However, that would indicate that they maybe are going to attack. Very, very mixed messages coming out today from Trump. So we'll have to just wait and see. New Zealand dollar CAD, ADR. So again, oil, New Zealand CAD. That's just an ADR hit to the upside. So drop down low time frames, wait for some kind of reversal to form. Not a great level though. So, you know, we've looked at this one. That's the short up here somewhere. 150 ADR. If you can get up to 150 ADR onto that today, that would be a very nice short. I'm just going to whiz through the pairs that I'm monitoring because I just want to see if there's any opportunities to get into anything else. Aussie New Zealand's not up high enough yet. Aussie US, middle of nowhere. That's a potentially good mean reversion out of that propulsion gap. So we had that big, strong drop down yesterday. We've come back, retested it. This is the second retest now, potentially failing. So you've got a low of the day, low of the week target to the downside there. Aussie dollar CAD weekly range extension. So that's just hit its weekly range as well, the Aussie CAD. So yeah, we're in a range here. Obviously, first entry, if you take out a propulsion there and it does fail, second entry would be up at the high of the week last week. Swiss yen coming down nicely still, short on that. Euro CAD, so I've got sells on this one. So my next entry Euro CAD is here, which is 150 ADR. So basically, next entry is going to be on a scale in and retest of those highs. We are holding this low look. So that's your previous resistance, support. So we didn't get down to that propulsion gap, unfortunately. That I had an exit on this yesterday at break even. I didn't take it. So, but I've only got 3 positions, 3 trades in the position, so it's not the end of the world. Euro Swiss, shorts on that one as well. Only got 2 on that. Next entry is miles away on that one. Next entry is all the way back up at the highs there. Those are my entries. It's just sort of flip-flopping around at the minute. Again, Swiss franc, safe haven run. That will come down very quick if it happens. Euro pound, we've already covered. Don't want that yet. And the pound US, nice rejection there as well. So, yeah, all looking good. Just waiting for stuff to happen. That oil trade is going to die. The question is, do I get out or do I hold? I'm going to hold it for the minute. So we've basically just got a big sell order come in at those highs, but obviously the sell order has been caused by Trump. So all your technical analysts that have never watched any news or any fundamentals will be saying, look at that beautiful top bounce. Everyone that's a smart money trader will be going, look at that stop run. Everyone that follows the news and knows what really drives the market is like, oh, Trump's just dumped it because he's not going to invade Iran. Pick one, whichever you decide is the most logical. Gold, don't trade gold, but it'll be doing the inverse to the dollar, which at the moment isn't really doing a lot, is it? So obviously with gold, you're looking at obviously rising on the dollar. So I don't trade it, but up or down, one of those. I don't know. At the moment, it's a double top off the monthly highs, but you're ascending wedge. So there's a hell of a lot more downside targets. What we're all waiting for is the dollar to rally. So we're waiting for a reason to buy the dollar. We've been selling the dollar constantly, obviously, hence this is why this has gone up, because it's a dollar cross, the same as everything else. Gold will do well in times of conflict. We've got conflict. Yep. So we've got a weakening dollar. We've got conflict. Obviously, the gold price is going to go up. We're just waiting for a catalyst for the US dollar to strengthen up. We're not getting them at the moment. So I would say it's it's probably likely to continue to go up all the time we're getting that weakness on the dollar. But That can change. The other thing we've got going on as well is what's happening with Russia. Russia holds a massive, massive stockpile of gold. So at the moment, we've got heightened pricing on restricted supply from Russian gold. If those sanctions start to get removed from Russia at some point, that's going to flood the market with gold, and that's going to drop the gold price as well. So, all these things you have to factor in. Short term, it's not going anywhere today, is it? Intraday, it's stuck. You're stuck between a reversal alert and a reversal alert. Look, that's how little that thing's moving. Okay, we've got signs of weakness starting to creep in on the S&P. Not on the Dow, though. Dow is still off to the races. Mixed messages from Trump? No way. What else is new? I know. He's usually very clear. He is, though. This is the thing, isn't it? He's usually very clear. Now's a good time to buy stocks. All of a sudden, the next day, we get the biggest day in the stock market ever. Over 9%. He told us the day before, today's a good day to buy stocks. We just didn't listen to him. We're not going to invade Iran. We are going to invade Iran. We're not going to invade Iran, but we might invade Iran. An invasion of Iran could be coming up very soon, but it's unlikely to be soon. It's probably to be sometime very, very soon. That's usual Trump, isn't it? What that means is if he's continuously going on about Iran and missiles, it's going to happen. We're just not going to tell you when. Exactly the same as Israel. It's possible there could be a strike by Israel, but I'm not going to say it's going to happen soon. 1 hour later. Aussie dollar Swiss ADR. They're selling the Swiss franc as well. Obviously, they'll be pulling out the safe havens thinking it's all going to be fine. It might all be fine. But if it's not fine, you're going to be back down there by the end of the day. Also, bear in mind, it's FOMC day. This is an awful lot of activity for an FOMC day. Yeah, FOMC is usually rotational. We've got weekly ranges and daily ranges hit. So something's going on today, obviously, that is outside of the norm. Canadian dollar getting hammered, oil getting hammered, obviously. So, this could easily undo itself within an hour. Another thing I've been trying, and it may be stupid, I just want to test. Same RSI strategy, waiting on extensions. However, my first entry is a stop loss entry, risking 1%. Might work. Test it. It's a shame you're not a member, David, because you could watch the member stream and I could show you exactly how to build an EA to test that within about 15 minutes. In fact, the EA that we built this morning in the members stream, there it is. There's the GT. Oh, it's still running, look. No, it's not. This is the EA we built this morning in the members stream in 15 minutes. And it actually trades RSI with a stop loss. I haven't even tested it. No idea how it works. I can't even remember what we were doing with it. Yeah, we didn't look at that in detail. That's the wrong way around. I don't think that'll even work, to be honest. We built 2 EAs, basically. I've got a feeling that one's not even going to take a trade. Anyway, Varu Wild. I started winning months ago. When I stopped trading the teenager tantrums of gold. Yeah, gold is hard to trade. Well, I find it hard to trade. Volatile. Volatility makes you cross. No, that's not even going to take a trade, is it? We built 2 EAs this morning. That's the GPT one, and we built the Cody one, which was, what did I call the Cody one? AI strategy. There we go. Easy name. This was the Cody version. It does take trades. But it is only break even. If I stop out, I wait for the next further extension, then position trade from there, risking 0.25%. Yeah, so I mean, if you're going to, so basically, it's not a bad strategy, because obviously, if you look at the position trader EA and position trading strategy in general, the vast majority of trades, when you run back tests, you'll find they have 2 or 3 entries on average before it hits target. A lot of trades are 1 in, 1 outs. Yeah, so those 1 in, 1 outs, you're going to make 1% on. If you just target 1R, basically. If that fails and you scale into the second entry with 1/4 of the risk, you're going to need to go 4 times the distance for that one to play out to get back that loss. So you would need really the second entry to be 2 or 3 trades, a typical entry, to give you enough size to get that 1% that you lost back. I don't know if it would work or not. You'd need to build a model to backtest it, but you'll find that it's anything that uses a stop loss with high risk and then drops back to a low risk recovery strategy is going to struggle, because you're not going to get enough trades on the low risk entries to build up enough size to get you out. But I don't know. Try it. See if it works. Anyway, I'm not sure why we're watching this load of rubbish, because we were not trying to build a profitable strategy this morning. We were trying to just show how easy it is to build a strategy in AI. Win the first trade and bank a bit more. Yeah, if it works, obviously. Just chatted for the John Wick picture. Look, Varu Wild Rift is in #1 spot, guys. We'll get some John Wicks up. I should be a member. Yes, you should be, David. I basically pay 10 times every time I come in. I know. I have said this to you before. If you join, the membership, I think, is $30 a month. Not even that. I can't remember what it is. But yeah, it would be a cheaper way of but anyway, I quite like the way you do it. But yeah, the members only content, there's loads of it, obviously. So it's worth, it's up to you if you want to become a member, but there's plenty of member content in there, which is, it's all the, to be fair, I cover a lot of this in my normal live streams, but this is more structured. We've got subject matter. We're going through it in detail rather than just like I did there, just glazing over it sort of thing. So, there's hours and hours of it in here, and if, it will keep you busy for a while. But if you want to know about strategy development, that's what the member streams are predominantly about strategy development and learning strategy development and what does and what doesn't work. So it's, it's just tapping into my 20 years of doing stuff that doesn't work. And, if you can follow that lot, understand why I do what I do in the way that I do it, and understand why I don't do that stuff, you've kind of cracked 90% of what you're going to fail on in your trading journey. Everybody got to go through the trading journey. You're going to go through doing strategies that fail, doing this. You're going to go full tilt. You're going to blow accounts. You're going to do all the stuff that everybody does. Everybody that is running these YouTube channels, all these teenagers, have been doing this for 2 years, and I couldn't crack it. I don't know anybody that cracked it in 2 years. I'm not surprised. You are making money out of YouTube now because you found a strategy that you've backtested for a month and had some good results on. Come back in 4 years, 5 years, and then you will be not trading that strategy anymore. I can tell you that much, because it's not going to last long term. But they're on the journey. It's just now my journey. When I was doing this, there was no YouTube. So I get the hindsight now of going, done that, done that, done that. There's nothing you can show me on YouTube that I haven't done, tried, back tested, robustness tested, and disproved. Nothing. Yeah, very little works, because everything is trying to scrape tiny movement out of random price action. You cannot predict randomness. It's not possible. You can press a button, wrap risk around it, and take reward at some point, but there's no way you can predict the future. That's what every strategy out there is trying to do. It's trying to take a breakout, and it's trying to predict the future. That strategy we just traded this morning on the NASDAQ here, on the 1 minute chart. Yeah, what that was trying to do, and it was absolutely right. It was trying to get in on that break. It stopped out, and then the market went mad. Right, okay, so here we go, guys. That strategy that I traded this morning, the rule is if it pulls back inside and then it re-breaks with a propulsion gap, you take a second entry. It's an option, because obviously he needs to be able to manipulate the results so that if the first one doesn't work, he can take a second one. But if the second one doesn't work, he can say he didn't take the second one because of another reason. Yeah, this is what they all do. But anyway, so that there was your second entry. That is the low of the propulsion gap candle. Yeah, so there's your propulsion gap break. That candle has to have closed to cause that propulsion gap. That is your stop loss. That is your entry. We are looking for a 2R. So you would have taken a second entry there with a stop loss there. And your 2R would be up there. So you haven't hit target yet, but look at the first entry that was taken, which was there with a stop loss there. The 2R on that one was only about there. Yeah. So again, that one doesn't work out and people go, oh, it's rubbish. I didn't hit the target. It came back and it stopped me out. Ah, but you would have moved to break even because I've just invented a rule that stops that becoming a loss. Adjusting the parameters a little bit. No, that is too much of a distance. What you shouldn't be doing is taking them when there's two propulsion gaps back to back. So we'll develop the strategy. We'll change the rules to make sure it's profitable until we've run out of ways to change the strategy. Then it starts losing and we scrub it and start a new strategy because I need content for my YouTube channel. Sound familiar? So I'm not... I don't know who that guy is, but anyway, we're in it again and it's still not working. I should be a member, yes. Ballerina is a great movie. I haven't seen it yet. I'm very much looking forward to it, though. I love John Wick, obviously. When you doubt yourself, talk to a beginner. See how far you've come. That's a really good idea. Yeah. I don't talk to anybody anymore because everybody knows better than me. So I tend to shut up because I can't win. I will never win an argument about trading because it's always not right. Because whatever I do, there's a 50-50 probability of it being wrong. Whenever I do argue with anybody about anything, their probability always happens to be right on the occasion we have the argument about whatever it is, and I always lose. And I've given up trying to explain long-term edge to people because they're interested in, did the trade work today? No. What about the second one? No, not interested. Your strike rate's crap. But it worked 19 times last week. No. It didn't win today, did it? I've just blown my FTMO account because of your advice. No, I didn't give you any advice. It's just a strategy. No, but it's absolute rubbish. That's all you get. If it works 10 times in a row and someone gets funded, oh my God, they love you. As soon as they blow that account because they didn't realize the long-term edge had a losing run of 17 because they didn't backtest it, oh my God, they hate you again. You can't win. You never will. So if you talk to someone that's a beginner, they will be full of enthusiasm, full of knowledge. They will have soaked up tons of stuff. They'll be brimming, overloading with everything. But they won't have a clue what they're doing because they haven't seen everything happen. It's not until you've seen everything happen and then the market does something you haven't seen before that you realize you are so insignificant. None of it works. And all of it works. You just don't know which and when. If we knew that, we'd be millionaires, Rodney. And there is your 1 minute MRA break back in range, maybe. There, yep, exactly right, David. So there's your short, stop above the high. So let's do David's strategy. So this one on the breakout is in play. The reversal alert entry is there. Let's be fair. Let's go for a 2R on that one as well. I hope this doesn't work, David, today because I'm long. And I really don't want it to go short. I hope that the other guy's strategy works today, just because I'm in it. But yeah, so if you, that's what you'll do. You go for a 1R. If you're trading the 1 minute time frame, that's a big stop loss, isn't it? This is a volatile time frame. It's random algorithmic chop. So, but yeah, go for a 1R. I'll give you a 1R pullback, yeah, as long as it is just a pullback and a market structure long. But, there's two strategies there, both absolutely viable. This is a mean reversion strategy. This is a breakout strategy. So far today, we've taken these two trades. Which one's going to work? I can tell you there's a 50-50 probability that one of those will work. In fact, there's a 100% probability that one of those will work, but I don't know which. Now, what you could have happen today is this one pulls back to there. David takes a 1R return and goes, happy days, my mean reversion strategy works. It pulls out of that propulsion gap and bounces up into that propulsion gap, and that breakout strategy works. So you get a 2R on the break, a 1R on the mean reversion. You make 3R, and both strategies work. Who's right? Who's wrong? Yeah. If David is targeting 2R to the downside, his strategy is going to fail. David will be wrong. If David is targeting 1R to the downside and that's where we bounce, he's right. Is the strategy right or wrong? Strategy is the strategy. Strategy gives you an entry criteria. It has nothing to do with making money. Whether that trade works out and makes money depends on where that take profit level is placed, not the entry. The entry enters the market. The money is made on where the price goes. That has nothing to do with strategy at all. That's what young traders, new traders will not understand. They'll go, yep, you get in, you place a stop loss there and you put a 2R on it. What, every time? Yeah, 2R every time. What about when it goes 15R? No, you take 2R. Sorry, it goes 15R, but you take 2R. Yeah. Why? Because that's what the strategy does. That's what the strategy does, but that's not how you make money, is it? Because you just lost 13R because you took 2R. Why didn't you take 1R? Well, because it always goes to 2R. No, it doesn't, does it? Because you stop out sometimes. Yeah, but if I'd have taken 1R, I wouldn't have made as much money as 2R. Round and round you go. And then the strategy starts losing run for 10, and then they go on to a new strategy. I'd love to talk to those people because it's interesting. You will never tell them that you're right. They will always be right because they're so hyped, especially new traders in prop. They're very excited about running a 100 grand account. Own Forex. What annoys me about beginners is that I read a lot of them, and when they think they can somehow succeed without effort or work by just loading some set files and knowing nothing. And good day to everyone. Yes. Yeah. Unfortunately, that's 99%, isn't it? Look how few in here. Real people working hard to do it right. No dream merchants. Yeah, exactly. We got 39 people in here. That guy whose video I just showed you had 39,000 views in one day. Why? Because he spent over $1,000 pushing marketing out onto YouTube to get people to watch that video, to buy his course, because they're new beginners. I could do the same thing, but I do not want to deal with those people. Don't get me wrong. I like everybody, most people. But new traders are very, very hard work. Because of what I've just said, you'll never teach them the right way to do anything, because everybody on YouTube is making six figures doing this. Everybody, all these channels, there are thousands and thousands of trading channels. All of them are making six figures. Where is all this money all these traders are making? I do sometimes, but not the last couple of years. Yeah. Because the markets have not been right. I make what the market gives me. When I press the buy button, the market either goes up or down. If it goes down, I scale in. I get paid by the market movement. I don't get paid by a strategy. I never, ever will earn the same amount of money in a P&L year on year. Never. But these people seem to just do it week in, week out. Like that guy. I had a 6 grand win. I had 11 grand win. I had a 7 grand win. I had a da-da-da-da-da. Where's the other 16 days? They're all losers, aren't they? Look at today, right? I bet he does not show. If you go onto that guy's channel, I don't even know which one it was. I just found it this morning, but it came up on my YouTube while I was watching the AI video. But I've just traded his strategy once and lost twice. I might lose the second one as well. Do you think he will show on his P&L the 18th of June ever? No, because it didn't win. If he can manipulate this to say, I'll tell you what, guys, new rule. When you take a break, if the first trade is a loser, when the second trade comes in, you use half the reward to recover the loss of the first trade. That will be a win and a win. He will show a video explaining this is a perfect example of how you reduce your target after a losing trade to recover your loss. Strategy changed. All of a sudden, it's a winning strategy. Did you do that on that day, or did you see a way of making money on that day and then pop a video up about it? Look, that's all you've got to do. So if you lose, all you've got to do is reduce your target. They're everywhere, aren't they? It's like a plague. It's really weird when you've been trading such a long time, which some of you I know have. This didn't exist 5, 6, 7 years ago. ICT came around, and really, actually, it was Steve Mauro with BTMM. He was the first guy to come out in the forefront and go, I'm going to teach you how this thing works. And everyone was like, whoa. And then ICT kind of jumped on his bandwagon, and then everybody jumped on their bandwagons. But in my day, it was Forex Factory or nothing. PDFs. You got a PDF on that? No, I'll write you one. 3 days later. Here's a draft of the PDF, because it took 3 days to write a PDF in those days. Now you just go to AI. I've got a trading strategy. I'm going to give you one sentence on it. I'd like you to do the rest for me, put a load of images in it, and then create it as a PDF, build a website for me, start marketing it on Facebook, and just plug it into my Stripe and pay me once a month. That's how it works now, because it does everything for you, doesn't it? In my day, it took you 3 weeks to get a PDF done. I found something new on my channel the other day as well. I was in one of my videos and it had a clip button. I didn't see the clip button before. I clicked the clip button and it basically goes, would you like to make a YouTube short out of this? And it goes and finds some text. And you go, yeah, find some text of me waffling, press a button, it clips it and posts it up onto YouTube for you. Does it all automatically. Life is automated. Scary, isn't it? When this becomes automated, everyone's stuffed. Thought he was blowing a party horn and smoking weed. Who? Who? I don't know. Or who was I talking about then? Hi, Lee. You only like people until they ask about gold. True. I don't mind people asking about gold. I just can't give you any information about it because it's a cross of the US dollar. So the answer is always going to be the same. Is the dollar going up or down? If the dollar's going up, it's going down. If the dollar's going down, it's going up because it is gold crossed with the dollar. Same way as if pound US dollar goes up because dollar's going down, or pound US dollar goes down because dollar's going up. Gold does the same. Look at the charts. They're all the same. In fact, at the moment, they're a little bit different because obviously we get a little bit of a run on commodities, or oil, metals, everything when there's stuff going on, don't we? So at the minute, I would say it's probably a good buy. But then again, I would say oil is a good buy at the moment. And that one's struggling as well. Gold, what's that? The prop buster trade. Sash. You've lost me, Franco. Hindsight is the perfect science for most of the YouTube traders. Yeah, it's very easy to make a strategy work. Yeah, I can make any equity curve you want. If you want an equity curve with a 90% strike rate, I can give it to you. I can show you the equity curve. It'll be traded on the 4-hour or the daily chart, and it'll be using an 80-20. Probably a 90-10 RSI. It'll probably trade 5 times a decade, but I can show you a 90% strike rate as long as you're willing to wait 3 years for an entry. But you can make anything work over a short period of time. You know, this is that video that I don't even know what the video was. That one? No, that's mine. What was it? I don't know. I can't remember where it was. But anyway, whatever strategy it was, it said on the opening title, back tested for 1 month. That was immediately, for me, it's like, you've back tested it for a month. New traders will be going, back tested it for a month. It's worked for 20 days. Yeah. How exciting is that? I'm now waiting for you to show John Wick with gold. Oh, okay. Well, we've got lots of John Wick with gold. We've got John Wick with a gold coin, on a gold coin. We've got John Wick with a gold Lambo. We've got John Wick with a gold jacket and a gold, we think that's a coin. Not sure. Nice gold jacket. Haven't seen him for a while, have we? I think that's the only gold we've got with John Wick, unfortunately. John Wick with his 8-ball. John Wick with his time machine. Oh, no, that's a crystal ball. He has got a time machine as well. No, that's him down the pub with Powell. There's the time machine. He knows what he's talking about, doesn't he? Mr. Weak. Shut up, me. Market's pulling back. I am going to get out of S&P and the NASDAQ. Not convinced about this price action. I'm going to let the DOW run. It's only got a 25% position on it. Just want to get a profitable day in just to recoup some of yesterday's loss because it was a bit whippy yesterday. So that just gets yesterday's loss back, basically. If we can get a continuation run on this, and I'm not convinced we're going to, because I think something's going to happen with Trump that's going to dump the market at some point today. But if he does dump the market, obviously that will just stop out, but my oil trade will then pop again. So Euro CAD ADR as well. So that's Canadian still dropping at the moment. Next entry for me is miles away on that. So that'll be 4th entry. Totally stuck in this thing. Can't do anything with it. I've cut myself off from ICT SMC traders. Just ignore them now. Life is much more peaceful. Yeah. I really get the ICT thing because he was the first. I think ICT was the first real kind of YouTuber, if you like, to give a little bit of mystery and come up with a plan that was based on something that nobody had seen. And that's the key. People hadn't seen it. Now everybody's seen it and everybody knows it doesn't work because everyone's tried it, but people are still grasping onto it. And you've got this weird cyclical thing happening now in traders where they try it, they can't make it work. They do a YouTube about it and teach other people the theory, but they can't do it in practice because it doesn't work. But it doesn't work because it's trading timeframes that are random. Yeah, so you can't make something work on 5-minute timeframes and 1-minute timeframes with any consistency because it's algorithmic chop. So if you're sitting down here, in theory, you can look at a chart and go, oh, I should buy it after this, but it will fail 50% of the time. You should be selling it now at ADR, yeah, on the 1 minute chart, and you should be trading it down into there. Yeah, it may work, it may not. But if it doesn't work, it'll do something like this. Not that or that. It will just sit around and it will frustrate you. And this is the thing. You get frustrated because it doesn't work like the textbook shows. So people just recycle it and teach it and they change it, like that SMC guy that we traded his strategy today. It was basically a cross between ICT, fair value gaps, the opening range breakout strategy, which was made by a different guy in the 1970s. So it's a guy from the 70s, a guy from modern day on a time frame that it's not designed to work on. He's got a new strategy with 39,000 views within 24 hours. Yeah, he hasn't been trading that. He's not trading that live every day and it's not working. But people suck it up because they can. And it's if you introduce the word smart money, fair value gap, or anything to do with that into your YouTube, you will blow up because that is what everyone's talking about. But no one's making money out of it. They're following it, they're doing it, they're failing, and they're trying to figure out why. But they can't. Because they're all new and young and they will all give up. 95% of them will be gone because they all want to make money out of prop. The other thing we didn't have in my day was prop. If you wanted to get into trading, you got a credit card or you got money out your bank. You couldn't go to a prop firm and say, can I have 100 grand, please? And they'll go, yeah, no problem. Just give us $300. Like, really? You're going to give me 100 grand for $300? Wiser people might go, I smell something. That doesn't seem right. But this generation, for some reason, go, really? Okay. What planet are you on if you think you're going to give someone $300 or $500 and they're going to give you 100 grand back? Unbelievable. But, you know, I think people now know how prop works, don't they? But they're still doing it. I still do it every now and again. I still buy a prop evaluation every now and again because it's fun. And I get paid every now and again. But, you know, you're not going to make a living out of it. Rejection going on at ADR on EuroCAD. Nice to see it get a little bit further and come and test this area here. You know, and again, I keep talking about it, but this, you know, this is called a wide range bar. It's not called a fair value gap. It is not. It's not a propulsion gap either. It's what I call it. I was taught it was a propulsion gap. ICT calls it a fair value gap, but M.A. Perry, who invented the thing in the 1980s, called it a wide range bar. Yeah, he didn't even trade candlesticks. He trades bar charts. That's why it's called a wide range bar, a WRB. Look at his website. I think I've probably shown you his website before, but tell me whether or not this website was created before or after ICT came onto the scene. My God, where? So many other things. Not even going to be able to find his website now. There we are, Strategy Lab, right? So tell me if this was invented before or after YouTube. This is the guy that invented the fair value gap. Do you think he was around before ICT or after ICT? Looking at the quality of workmanship with the website that he created. Forget the fact that it says it was copyright 2002 by ICT. YouTube wasn't around then, mate. But, you know, so I mean, copy, recycle, copy, recycle. I'm doing the same thing in a way. I just was taught. I didn't know that it was called a wide range bar. I was taught it was a propulsion candle. And when I started researching ICT stuff, came across somebody that said it was actually this. And I was like, Christ, I've been calling it something else all these years. But it's the same thing. Look at it. What a website. Good luck navigating it as well. There you go. Wide range bar. Fair value gap. Propulsion gap. Same thing. It's not. This is the guy that made it, M.A. Perry. And he doesn't run around trying to sue everybody that's using his terminology. Unlike some people Mr. Huddleston. The cult of trading gurus. Yeah. Very dangerous. For your mind and your bank account. Yeah, it's more dangerous for your bank account. If you tot up, I don't know what I've spent on training courses over the years. It's a lot. More than most people's trading accounts I've spent on courses. I've done Anton Kreil's course. That's $2,500 just for the course. Forget the data, just for the course. Very good course. Taught me everything I know about fundamentals, which is why I follow fundamentals, because he comes from a banking background and he knows how the thing works. He's one you want to listen to. If you're going to do any course on the planet, Anton Kreil's. But it's not cheap and it's not easy. You're going to need a pretty good maths degree to actually get your head around, or economics degree to get your head around what he's talking about. It's one of those you've got to watch 3 or 4 times, and it's long. It's many, many, many days. Macklem is speaking at the moment. Prospect of a new Canada-US trade deal offers hope that tariffs would be removed. So yeah, but the world is made of people blogging stuff, isn't it? Too easy these days. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I've got out of 90% of everything today. I'm just going to leave this Dow running. So either I'm going to stop out on a pullback on the Dow, which will get me a bit more, or the Dow is just going to sort of sit around. So obviously before the EA closes these positions out, we've got non-farm payroll, FOMC. So I'm going to cancel off these pending orders today because I do not want to go the other way, just in case. So if we are sitting around here, for example, when FOMC comes out, if we get a whipsaw, all I'm going to do is hemorrhage money. So it's just going to trigger 3 shorts and then potentially stop out on all 3 because there's going to be massive volatility potentially. So I'm flat, 1 trailer. It will either go or it won't. If this pops on FOMC, happy days. But I'm not going to risk any more on it. Obviously, that oil trade is still on. I'm going to keep it on today. I've banked a fair bit today. I'm going to watch this for the next 3 or 4 hours, and I'm going to keep a close eye on it. We've put a low of the day in now at ADR, which just happens to be exactly my average price as well. So I'm just going to watch this, and I'm hoping that this is just an aggressive pullback, and we're going to get some kind of action that's going to rally this price again. We need some escalation in the Iranian thing. So eyes peeled on financial juice, basically, just to see what else Trump says today. But with the FOMC meeting coming up later, I'm not sure Trump's going to want to do too much upsetting of the markets. So we'll see. But, it's Trump. He can do what he likes. So I'm just going to keep an eye on this. But it'd be a shame if this is the end of the rally. But I don't really want to take too much drawdown on it because I don't really trade oil. This is purely a conflict trade. It's not anything other than I'm expecting a rally and a run on oil. So we've got plenty of room. Look. So this is where we are. That is your next upside resistance. That is the break down from the previous support. Okay. Franco, thank you for another $2. Sorry, too chatty today all. Feeling good. Excellent. Glad you're feeling good. And you are in the number 1 spot. I don't know why I've just circled you off screen. I just drew a circle around you. I went, I'm glad you're feeling good. And I put a circle around you. There we go. I thought I'd show that on the screen. And you've got the number 1 spot today. Good job. There you go. Right. I'll leave it there before Franco gets overtaken. I'll be back on Friday morning. I'm hoping to be here Friday afternoon. I've got a meeting at 12, which I can't see going on more than 2 hours. Shouldn't go on more than an hour. So I will be here Friday as normal in the morning and Friday afternoon as normal for the New York session and the DAX as well. I may not make the afternoon, but it's unlikely. So good luck with everything that's going on at the moment. Obviously, just be careful today. We've got tensions, possible bombings happening in Iran by the US, and we've got FOMC. So everything you see on your charts is potentially going to go absolutely anywhere today. So just be cautious. If you've got automation running on anything, just be aware of it, because obviously you are going to get abnormal price action today. So, try and not be caught up in whipsaws when you've got automation running, ideally. So cancel everything off, which reminds me, just going to check that I have nothing running on those either, which I don't. So that's good. All right. So anything you need, let me know. I'll be back on Friday. Other than that, have a good day, and I will see you next time.